fin or fail, man. So we're going to go ahead and start with our first fin. Who is our first fin from the game, Rod?
My first fin, man, it's the defense, Herbie, in particular, Minka and the rookies. And I touched on the rookies a little bit previously, but Herbie, Minka, man, he was awesome, bro. He had a forced fumble on a safety blitz, which was recovered by Zach Sealer. Mind you, Tua threw a pick the very next play. That's neither here nor there. You had, he had the what do you call that? A two. What do you call a 2 point conversion return?
A pick two? Like,
Like, what's the catchy name for that? Regardless, he had that play. He was making plays all game long. As I mentioned earlier, the rookies, especially on the D line, but even guys like Dante Trader and Jason Marshall when he's got in, like, you know, Chris Greer was someone who needed to go, but he left a couple of nice parting gifts because we got some young, talented players on the on defense that, with some extra coaching, with more development, it took them some time. They started slow, but they've been catching on, which is a huge part as to why the defense is performing a lot better. So, Herbie, shout out to Minka. Shout out to the rookies on D. Shout out to the defense, period, for really being the strength of the team. Shout out to Weaver, who has finally figured out exactly, how to use the talent that he has along with what plays to call. Like, his game plans have been on point, and the guys have been executing, Herbie. So shout out to the defense, in particular in this game, Minka and the rookies.
all right, man. Now, your first fail. You just mentioned them, but we have to do it again, man. Tua. Tua.
Herbie, man. Listen. This one hurts me. It hurts me more. It hurts me more and more every week, Herbie, because I was caping for this dude for a while. I was never Tua now, but I gave Tua a lot of chances, Herbie. I tried to be as objective on him while also being biased toward him because I sensed a lot of hate for him. Sometimes I felt unwarranted, but I'm pretty sure, Herbie, at this point, Herbie, even the staunchest Tua supporters are tired. Even like it gets to like Herbie, the way he played in this game, the interception that he threw after the defense makes a great play. Herbie, you have Devon Achane who's open in the flat. Now, mind you, yeah, maybe he would have gotten tackled for, 2-3 yards, maybe he gets, right? But he's a guy who's capable of shaking and baking, you know what I mean, and giving you more. But Herbie, you throw that ball up. Waddle is not open. Waddle's not Brandon Marshall. He's not a guy that's going to go up there and get the ball. He just throw it in a double coverage. And then the second interception he threw, I don't even know what the hell he was doing on that play. He didn't even. They called it back, Herbie, but he damn near threw 2 picks. This dude almost has 15 interceptions, and we're not even through with the season, Herbie. We still got like 6 more games to go, right? Like it's just oh man, like Tua's been disappointing, Herbie, and he was inaccurate. He was off rhythm with the receivers. It's painful to watch him run with the ball when he has. There are times where Herbie, it's so frustrating because there are times he has open space, and you don't even want to see him run. Like there are times it's like you see Tua, you just go, man, just throw the ball away at this point. You know what I'm saying? If it's a fourth down, just chuck it up. I don't care. Like he can barely get you 2 yards, Herbie, when he has a sea of yardage in front of him. And it's just I think myself and many other Dolphin fans, even the fans who hated him, their hate is at an all-time high at this point. Maybe some are numb at, probably. But in my case, Herbie, in the case of many Dolphin fans who really were behind Tua, Herbie, it just hurts more and more this season to watch this guy game in and game out. And Herbie, we're not going to get a quarterback, right? Like it's not happening this offseason. So we're going to have to run this back. And here's another part. Tyreek is likely not coming back next year. So we're going to have Tua again with no Tyreek and possibly no McDaniel. I don't know, Herbie. It's been hard to watch at times this season for sure when it comes to him.
All right, so let's brighten up the mood again before we bring it back down, unfortunately, bro. So who's your next fin?
My next Herbie, Devon Achane. I mean, listen, Herbie, I feel bad for him because he's on the Dolphins and he's not going to get the proper recognition that he deserves. But he's putting up numbers up there with the likes of guys like Jonathan Taylor, right? And when you look at Achane, Herbie, the way that it's not just the speed, right? Whenever people talk about him, they're always talking about how fast he is. But Herbie, he is one of the toughest runners in the league. His ability to read blocks, his vision, he can create something out of nothing when the offensive line doesn't do him any favors. Not to mention, he is a legitimate threat in the passing game as a weapon. Like he has been such an awesome guy, and this game was a perfect example we put the game on his back. You know what I'm saying? He scores the first touch. Herbie, let me tell you something. Two of the surest bets that I've had this season is Achane anytime touchdown and Tua, and shout out to Hawk and Crowder for this one. Tua, take the over on Tua rushing yards, Herbie. It's 0.5, man. It's 0.5, bro. Take the over, baby. Take the over, man. Tua can get you one. Tua can get you one. Shout out to Hawk for that one, man.
That's
But no,
hilarious.
Devon Achane has been incredible, man. It's crazy. We haven't had a running back as productive as him since Ricky Williams, right? That's the kind of company he's keeping this season. It's gonna go under the radar because the Dolphins are just going to flounder their way into 8-9 or 9-8.
And your last fail, man. This is probably the most critical one, and this is probably the one that is most indicative of the the entire thing. As long as we've been doing this, is something that you've been talking about, man. Pass protection, bro.
4 sacks on the afternoon, Herbie. Some of them where Tua had no chance, Herbie. And I'll give the offensive line credit for their improvement in the running game, especially with Austin Jackson being back. But man, Herbie, like for us to be going through this year in, year out, watching our quarterback at times be pressured, like at pretty much at the beginning of the snap. Like, there are times where Herbie, it's the quarterback's fault, but the pass protection was definitely poor on today in particular. Now, it doesn't help that when the pass protection was good, that Tua wasn't having his best game. But, this is just something that has been such a recurring nightmare for the Dolphins, man. And we could literally only hope that it's something that gets rectified, or at least they work towards a solution in the offseason. But once again, Herbie, pass protection lets us down.
All right, man. Before we get up out of here and switch this to the next, to our week's discussion, man. Any last words, man, before we have to put a bow on this game? I mean, again, a win is a win. We don't want to sound too.
Herbie, this is one of the most
just
depressing wins, and this is like a universal feeling amongst Dolphin fans. Like we won, but it feels like we lost.
Nah,
You know?
that's what I'm saying. Like you would have thought we talking about the team that lost. Like the way that like I'm sick, so I guess my energy is low regardless. But you sound depressed, like you guys are not on a winning streak, right? Like
Well,
that is just what this team has done to
the
this fan
best thing
base.
is that Chris Greer left and we won 3 straight. But the problem is, Herbie, I'm pretty sure we're all just like we know where this movie ends, right? Because
Yeah,
with the way Tua, especially with the way Tua's been playing, even if the Dolphins by miracle win out the rest of their games and sneak into the playoffs, is this really a team that you want to steal a primetime spot from somebody more deserving? Right? Like I just wouldn't want to. Listen, I'm a Dolphin fan. I would love to see the Dolphins win a playoff game after 20, 24, 25 years, Herbie. But this team ain't gonna do that. So
nah, for
it's
sure. Like
just
because as it
we're
right
just
now, so it's something I looked up, right? So currently, because Tennessee did not win against the Jags, you guys have a 1% chance to make the playoffs. And if that's just logically, right? Now, if you guys were to win every single game, you would at best have a 14% chance to make the playoffs. And that's what
we
you
need
guys
help.
winning out.
We need
You need
help, bro.
all the help in the world. You need
Right? We
all
need
the
the
help in the
right people
world.
to lose. We need the right. It's just too many things would have to go in our favor, and I just don't think the football gods are gonna waste that on the Dolphins. Sorry.
All right.